We're going to start with tying this fly called the Tarpon toad. It's the floating Tarpon toad. It does use foam instead of synthetic. Works on largemouth bass really well, and also tarpon. We're just going to go through the materials used to tie this fly. We're going to use a hook. Going to use the 3366 size 2. We're going to take a little bit of rabbit, purple rabbit. We're going to magnum cut this one, and then we're going to use some black foam. There's 1/8, what is this, 1.5 millimeter and 3 millimeter. We're going to use the 3 millimeter, the thicker foam in black closed cell foam. And we'll use some bead eyes, some little beady eyes from the craft store. Okay, let's tie the fly. Invert the hook this way and cut some of the purple rabbit just underneath the leather, about so. And get rid of this piece here. And we can impale it over the hook point about 3/4 of the way down so it sticks out a ways. So there, we've impaled it there. We'll just leave that there for a second. Tie the thread on. Start with a jam knot, a few wraps to the right, a few wraps to the left. Break that off. Okay, come back, build up a bump of thread right on the bend of the hook. Let's see if we can clear that up a little bit. Let's clear that, there we go. Right there, build up a little bump of thread. That will stop the rabbit advancing. Move the thread out of the way. We have to take it out of the vise for a second or two and invert it the way we're going to fish it. So this is, I'm going to fish it from now on like this. And this will catch on that bump and stop it sliding forward. So you can pull it with a little bit of forward tension. Wrap it around the hook shank. I'll just show you from a side angle view. Crush it around there, and then with the thread come up and capture that in place. So just about there. There we go. And trap that in position. Make sure the leather's out there nice and flat, and the rabbit's tied in nice and strong. Okay, move your thread just in a line in front of the hook point. That's important. We've got our pieces of foam. We've cut them into strips to start with, and we're going to cut those into smaller strips. About like so. I'm going to tie 6 of these pieces in on top, about here. Do a crisscross wrap, and come back and reinforce those nice and strongly. Don't anything rotating on the hook shank. Move it forward just slightly. Take the next piece. We're going to advance about 6 pieces in the same place. Try and wrap them quite closely together. This will increase some of the buoyancy of the fly. But you can do it relatively quick. The fish aren't that picky about it. That looks about right. And just keep doing this. Try and do the foam in a vertical direction, so when it all folds back it's aerodynamic, easier for casting. Tie it down quite strongly though, we don't want them rotating and coming apart on the first fish or two. I'm going to trim this later on and clean it all up, but that's the art of fly tying anyway. Smoke and mirrors, and then coming up with something good looking at the end that works really well. Just gently work your thread into the gap in the corner, pulling down with a pinch in front and behind. Alright, I think we've got space for one more in there, that's looking good. Here's our final piece of foam. I don't want to crowd the eye too much, we've got one more item to go on this. Little beady black eyes. So come in. You can see that all the pieces of foam are tied on top, and there's thread exposed on the belly here. So we've secured this, it's all looking pretty good. And there's a little space right here at the front where we can put the little bead eyes. These are little plastic bead eyes. They're just going to sit right in the front here, squish up against the last piece of foam. Tie them in like so. And that pretty much finishes the tying part of the fly. Everything's looking squared away. We need to finish this with a whip finish right behind the eyes. And remove the thread. Okay, everything's looking pretty good. Final thing, to make it look trim and fly through the air, we need to make it symmetrical. So what we're going to do is rest our part of the shank of the hook up against the bead, and a 45 angle, cut that to a sort of delta V wing on both sides. We're going to do the same on this side. Just judge it, it'll be too accurate, but that looks about right. That is the fly, the floating toad, and that's how it's made. Thank you.